We spent so much money on that blue fire that we done got Poe. Like Poe as in not much money. We got some Poes too. Hey everyone, this is the Mississippi King welcoming y'all back to more Let's Play Ocarina of Time, and in the last episode, we went on the Poe hunt and also went fishing. I think we got a couple heart pieces and like 3 sculptures or something. And in this episode, we're going to complete the mask side quest, just cause I'd like to get it out of the way soon, and also there's something that we can get at the end, like there's an item that helps us get another item that may help us in the next dungeon with how bad I've been playing. But here we are at the next spot. We want to pay back the Happy Mask salesman because, well, of course we owe him since the Skull Kid, by the way, paid us 10 rupees for a 20 rupee mask, so, gee, what gives? That's kinda mean. I mean, like, now he makes me pay... Now he makes me lose money. Like, gee, thanks. Thanks. I don't know what it is, but anyway, the next mask that we want is the Spooky Mask. And I know exactly whom to give that one to. Who is it? Drumroll, please. It's the kid at the graveyard. I don't know what he's called, but he runs around the graveyard, patrolling it at day. I wonder what he does when he gets older, like 7 years into the future. I don't think they ever explain that or say what he became. Maybe he's that guy on the roof. I mean, I don't know, that's just wild speculation, but nevertheless, you pay him that money and he gives you 30 rupees in return. That's not bad, it's a 30 rupee mask. Now that we're here, I may as well do something at night, the graveyard tour, which I attempted to do, but was unsuccessful. And we're here. Turns out you got to, like, make it a specific time of night. You can't just use the song, you have to, like, wait. And would you look at that first shot, first spot. I have never been that lucky, I don't think. Seriously, this has got to be one of the luckiest playthroughs I have had. Like, that heart piece location is actually randomized, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, you do not know where it'll show up, so that can be tricky, but nevertheless, the fourth and final mask that we want to deliver to someone is the Bunny Hood. And the guy who sells you the Bunny Hood is actually in Hyrule Field. And I'll just go over to Hyrule Field, and no point in cutting, it's just right here. But nevertheless, he pays you a lot of money for this mask. Anyway, Mississippi Dukes, later in the video we are also going to, like, get some other heart pieces, and also, you know, like, tackle the next mini-dungeon. I'll bet y'all can't wait for that. I mean, I've been making some decent progress on the heart pieces, actually. I'm pretty surprised. I mean, normally it takes me significantly longer to get these heart pieces. Well, the various heart pieces I've gotten, but, you know, it's nice for me to, like, get them out of the way as soon as possible. That's just convenient. Also, here's the running man, the guy that we want to sell the Bunny Hood to. And, well, you see, like, he won't stop running, so that's an issue. You're supposed to, like, play the Sun Song and wait for him to, like, rest, which he does not seem to be doing, so that's a bit of a problem. So once he stops, then you talk to him, and you ask to sell the mask to him, and you give it to him, and then done. The mask side quest is complete. But, you see, we will have to go back and get the next mask that we want. That is going to be that next mask that we're getting is going to come in handy. And it's also going to be the item that I was talking about that will help us get the thing that may help us with the next dungeon with how badly I've been playing. I mean, it's something that I don't really use much, but, I mean, with how poorly I've been, I very well may need it. But, yeah, you can just use the Prelude of Light to warp back to the Temple of Time, and then use the Sun Song to turn it back to day, and then just hop right on over to the Happy Mask shop. Just hop on there like a bunny, because we just sold a bunny hood. That's not supposed to be a pun, by the way. But nevertheless, you make a pretty decent profit off of that, so we ain't po anymore. No mo po. And no mo pos either, since we done finished the po hunt last week. No, this week, actually. But we got all 10 pos. We done got them all. And just right now, we done finished the mask side quest, which means we get the Mask of Truth, which is useful. Well, I mean, it's not super useful, but you can use it to read gossip stones, and it can also let you get the thing that I was talking about earlier. So let's go and do that. I don't feel like I need to excuse me, I don't feel like I need to edit any of this stuff out, because, I mean, all I can do is just play the Minuet of Forest, and we'll be taken right to the Lost Woods, the Sacred Forest Meadow, but who's counting? I don't want to see anyone making up any numbers over stuff that don't really matter, because it's exactly what the Sheikah would not have wanted if... I don't know where I'm going with that, but nevertheless, don't count! Again, I mean, do count, but not this, because it's just pointless, and you'd be wasting your time. And honestly, the enemies here in the Sacred Forest Meadow are way scarier as an adult. But I guess that just goes along with the theme of how the world gets much darker and harsher as we get older. Because it's like you have these big scary bears that like can send you flying, whereas before it's like you just had some measly scrubs that are more of a nuisance than they are a serious threat. Yeah, you just sort of become more cynical as you grow older. But you can read these gossip stones as I'm showing right now, and mostly they're just trivia, like not necessarily useful information, but it's kind of neat. The one thing that really sucks about the Mask of Truth, you can't use it as an adult. Yes, for some reason they just, like, didn't let you use it as an adult, even though you still run into gossip stones as an adult. So that effectively means that you can't really watch it for... I mean, you can't really read gossip stones for, like, half of the game. But here's the real reason I came here. You see, you remember them Dekus that were hidden deep in this hole here, and how they increased our Deku stick capacity. Well, if you come here with the Mask of Truth, they will increase our Deku Nut capacity. So yeah, we done got nuts! Of course, I done got nuts several videos ago, but that's all. I will see you later. And here we are later. And by later, I mean 7 years later, because seriously, you've been waiting that long? Wow, you are a really devoted viewer, thank you. Okay, in all seriousness, what I want to do is to actually show off the last beam platform here. And the real reason I wanted to show it off is that it's a really convenient shortcut to Zora's Domain, which is our actual destination. And Zora's Domain has a bit of a surprise for us as an adult. And we want to get something in Zora's Domain that will help us with the next mini-dungeon. Actually, not really much, but it will help us with the next dungeon, that's for sure. Nevertheless, you just play Zelda's Lullaby to open the waterfall just like you do as a kid. And I'm going to bring the blue fire out. You'll soon see why. And as you can see, well, Zora's Domain is frozen over. It's entirely frozen in ice. So that's interesting. What could have happened? Find out next, or maybe this time, I don't really know, but nevertheless, we are going to tackle a mini-dungeon this episode. And maybe in the next one we'll tackle the next dungeon. So this is the deal with the blue fire. It basically melts red ice. Apparently, I guess the red ice is hot? I don't know. And I guess I can't really buy a blue fire from the shop here. So I guess I'll just have to get the Zora Tunic, which is like there's a way to get it for free, but clearly I seem to have not. I bet on the wrong horse, I guess. Nevertheless, we can just head up to... Just head to Zora's Fountain, and it's not quite as frozen as Zora's Domain, but there are some big blocks of ice. And while this is going to make for a very interesting part because of all of the references to someone who that we don't really know about, I don't know. Nevertheless, we can still get farther if I can manage to hop up across these platforms decently enough.
Okay, seriously, how long is this gonna take? This is taking too long, and I seem to be running into some glitches with climbing and jumping. Like, seriously, this game has really weird issues with the auto-jump. I mean, for, like, one of the first games to use it, I guess it should be expected, but nevertheless, like, Majora's Mask, it has the same issues as Ocarina of Time, but the way that it works, the way that it uses them makes the it seems to want to use the auto-jumping in a way that really makes the problems more pronounced. And more of an issue, you'll see when we get there. There's a particular game that I'm thinking about that is really bad about that. We'll get to that when we get to it, don't worry. But nevertheless, this is really an issue. It's like hard to climb up these things because like it just seems to move to like you fall into the water and stuff. It's just annoying. Anyway, this is the Ice Cavern.
Welcome to an icy wonderland filled with snow and more snow and all sorts of wonders and icy cold, filled with enemies that shoot ice breath and all sorts of other coldness. You can practically feel the ice coming off. It's a perpetual icy wasteland, or in other words, Pennsylvania. But in this room, you just got to, like, kill all the icy monsters. I'm not sure what they're called. If I figure out what they're called, I'll put their names up on screen. But nevertheless, you kill them, and you just head this way. This way will lead you to the... It will lead you further into the dungeon. And that can be helpful because, you know, you're trying to clear the mini-dungeon. That's kinda how you progress in this game. I'm sorry, folks, it's just the way the world works. Also, I guess that was the wrong way. So fantastic, I got... we're running around in circles. This is not good. This is not boding well for the future of this mini-dungeon. I mean, I guess if I'd started this mini-dungeon earlier in the video, I could finish it in this very video. It's pretty short, actually, but it is slightly irritating in a few ways because of the reliance on the blue fire. But I mean, we have 4 bottles, so that should make it easier. That's partly why I wanted to get the 4th bottle as early as I did. But seriously, that bottle was a nuisance to get. Probably the most annoying to get in the entire series, though I haven't played Breath of the Wild, so I wouldn't know about that. I'm not saying it's bad with its empty bottles, if it even has any, but I am saying that I really don't know. This really could be the worst empty bottle to get in the series, or it could be like one of the worst. I don't know. I'm not proposing any answers to this, but nevertheless, the empty bottle that we got, like, you can only fill each bottle with one big Poe, and you can only carry 3 big Poes tops. That's if you got every prior empty bottle. So that means you have to do like 4 trips. That's the bare minimum. And it's like, if you had an extra bottle, that would not be an issue. But whatever. In any case, let's just keep moving on. At this rate, I'm not going to be able to finish this mini-dungeon in this video. And in this room, we're introduced to what I think is possibly the most annoying enemy in the game. Ice keys. I mean, say what you will about fire keys, they're pretty easy to deal with. They just deal more damage than usual, and since they have so much preparation and so many heart containers, it's not much of an issue. But ice keys, when they hit you, they freeze you, and you can't do anything about it. Well, I mean, I guess you kind of can, but nevertheless, they still are really obnoxious. They just sort of get all up in your face, and they freeze you, preventing you from moving, and, you know, that's kind of annoying. But anyway, here is a spot where we can get blue fire. Apparently, I guess it's like a cool fire, which is interesting. I'm not entirely sure what the red ice is supposed to be. And, fortunately, I don't think you'll use that much of it in this dungeon, and that extra bottle definitely helps, I must say. But anyway, that's all for this video. In the next video, we'll finish off the Ice Cavern and get some more heart pieces, maybe some sculptulas. See you next time. This is the Mississippi King, signing out.